What's up everybody, my name is Michael Gardner, and in today's video we are going to talk about how to write subject lines with a high open rate so more people read your cold emails. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. And really quick, one last thing before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and a comment. This helps the YouTube algorithm know that this is good content and they show it to more people. So more people who are stuck with email subject lines will find this video and it'll help them out in their journey. So be a friend, be a helper, go ahead and leave a like. So why do subject lines matter? Well, think about this. You go, you write your cold email, you personalize it, you find all the content information, and you're ready to go and email people. Now, you send out your email, you put a bunch of time into it, and you have a 40% open rate. That just means that 60% of the people that you took your time, your money, and just your effort to find don't even see at all what you write. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen, because if that happens, you're essentially wasting the majority of your leads. And it's a very easy thing to fix. Subject lines actually probably one of the easiest things to test and to get right in cold email. So in today's video, we're talking about what a subject line should be and what a subject line shouldn't be. So within somebody's inbox, there are two types of subject lines they are going to see when they scroll through. So one, you have personal subject lines, meaning it looks like a friend or a coworker or somebody who actually genuinely has interest in them and isn't spamming them or sending automated mass messages. Reach out to them. It's a personal subject line. The other one is a newsletter subject line. You and I both probably get hundreds of emails a week that we never open that are just the same newsletters promoting boring stuff, and you just don't open it. So what you don't want to happen is you don't want your subject line to just look like a newsletter, because that's going to lead to it ultimately just getting ignored. I want to go ahead and give 3 examples of horrible subject lines. Now you might say, oh crap, that's my subject line. Or you might say, oh crap, someone actually would use that. And the answer to both of those is, if that's your subject line, change it. And do people use subject lines like these? Yes, quite frequently. I know that from looking at more cold emails than I'd like to admit. So, marketing ideas. Grow your business with Facebook ads. How we achieve something return on ad spend. A fancy word that you probably can't pronounce. These are all subject lines I see. They're all boring. They're nothing to do with the person's name or their company. They look like a newsletter, or they just look like they're spam. These just don't work. Like, you might get some opens, but you're gonna be throwing away the majority of the leads because these are all like newsletter subject lines. So what are some good examples? I'm actually gonna go ahead and give you 3 good examples. Now, these all fall into the personal category. Not saying they're not business related, but it looks like somebody sat down and actually wrote an email. My favorite one, this one always works, is first name, quick question. Now, of course, you need to have their first name for this, but if you're doing cold email, you should already know you need to have somebody's name. Just name, quick question. I see this subject line get between 60 to 80% opens consistently. Now, can you do better? Yes, but if you want a subject line that you can just use right away and it will work, name, quick question. When I start my campaigns, I do a lot of testing. I don't test subject lines at first, and when I'm in that phase before I've actually tested a subject line, I'm always using name, quick question, because I know it's going to work, and then later on I'll refine and test my subject line. The next one is 2 relevant emojis, and I'll go ahead and pop an example up on the camera somewhere here. And what I like to do is relevant emojis. Let's say you're doing a campaign to a cosmetics company. Might be a lipstick emoji and then a mirror. If you're doing outreach to, let's say, a men's fashion company, it might be the sunglasses emoji and then the suit emoji. 2 relevant emojis actually gets between a 60 to 80, sometimes 90% open rate. And lastly, my absolute favorite subject line is found company on source. So let's say you're lead sourcing from, I don't know, a crowdfunding site or a top 10 list, or you're lead sourcing from I don't know, a newspaper. It would be found company on source. So let's pretend you found leads on Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunding site. If you don't know, you would do found company on source. So found Nike on Kickstarter. This subject line, no joke, has got me a 90 to 100% open rate. It works so well. And if you want an even better example, found company on podcast. So found, or even person, like we're reaching out to people. Found name on podcast, found company on source. This subject line is so versatile and it works so well. Now, the last thing I want to add on subject lines is testing. So, how do you know what subject line works and which one doesn't? Well, you take a sample size of 25 to 50 and you test multiple subject lines. The reason I have such high opening subject lines is I'm constantly testing. And even when I find a winner out of my test, I test it against other winners and I try weird, fun things because ultimately you don't really know if it will work unless you test it. That is it for today's video. If you found this useful, go ahead and leave a like. And if you have any questions on subject lines, then go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'm happy to answer. So thank you for watching and go out there and implement.